Welcome to Coming In Hot. Thank you live from Airplay Beats for the intro music. We are recording live from Darling New Media Studios in Midtown Sac. All right, guys. Now get ready for this one. We got a living legend in the building. We got former MLB All-Star, Sacramento native, Greg Vaughn is in the building.
What's up, man? Hey, I appreciate you.
What is going on? Now, I see in the background here, we got a big floss on here on the Zoom. We on the golf course. Mr.
We're on the golf
Vaughn,
course.
so we know your day is going great because you're out there on the golf course, on the golf court, in the golf cart. How is your day, Mr. Vaughn?
Hey, you said it right. We got to, I'm on the golf course. The sun's up. I woke up, did a little CrossFit this morning, and now I'm on the golf course relaxing, for a good cause. So, yeah, I can't complain about anything.
Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so let's take it back. Born in Sacramento, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, raised in the View, Meadowview.
Oh, okay. Meadowview in the building. My mom's side of the family's from out there. So how was it growing up in South Sac? When did you grow up? 70s, 80s?
So you want to tell my age? I graduated in '83. I'm old now. You know what I mean? Graduated high school, that is, in '83. So
Yes.
yeah. I wouldn't trade my time or the way I grew up or where I grew up for anything in the world. I think that's what shaped me. That's who my village looked like society. We had black, we had brown, we had Asian, we had people from they were Indian, all types of descent, Samoans.
Mm-hmm.
So my village was like what society is, and like I said, even from the law or the police state, I've had people that were you know Hispanic,
Mm-hmm.
Asian, African American, principals, teachers, counselors, everybody shaped me into, I guess, a former MLB baseball player.
Yes. Yes. So like I'm from North Sac, Strawberry Manors, by DPH, you know what I mean?
Yes,
There wasn't
sir.
a lot of baseball, Greg. How did you
Yeah.
how did you get into baseball? Because I didn't get into baseball until probably 7th, 8th grade, over in the Thomas Pony Leagues. How did you get into baseball, especially growing up in South Sac? I know a lot of people are trying to be basketball players, football players. How did you settle on baseball?
Well, I think I settled on baseball because everyone told me to quit playing baseball and concentrate on football because I was a better football player. So for me, it was easy. It was I don't like people to tell me what I can do and not do. And at that point in time, I was thinking about longevity. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and I went to University of Miami. And when I got there, like I said, the guys there at the University of Miami,
Mm-hmm.
hey man, they were built different, dude. It was like I said, they're 18, 17, 18-year-old grown men. You know what I mean? I went to
Yes.
the U with Michael Irvin, Miles
Mm-hmm.
Highsmith, the Blades brothers. So for me, it was a situation where someone said I should quit playing because I was a better uh, football player, and I don't like anyone to tell me what I can do or not do. So for me,
Mm-hmm.
it was Airport Little League. But back then, I don't know Ricky Jordan, Alan Warren, I know everybody from DPH.
Mm-hmm.
The Roger brothers. I mean, my grandfather lived off, and great grandfather lived off May Street. The
Okay.
Johnsons lived out there. So we have a ton of family out there, and those are all good times, man. Like I said, I
Mm-hmm.
think the thing that's missing now is the lack of respect of our youth or people have for people. I
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't say just our youth, but people have for people, because I wouldn't trade it. It was DPH, just like Meadowview. It was hard working middle class people. Everybody went to
Mm-hmm.
work every day. Everybody took care of their families, and I, like I said, I wouldn't trade it. I went to Kennedy. I went over the hill and see how the other side lived, and like I said, and like I said, Kennedy, I wouldn't trade that either, because
Mm-hmm.
it allowed my inner self to grow and know there were other opportunities and bigger opportunities and to dream big. And I had, from James Rucker to Sam Pinnell to, like I said, my mom, my grandmother, my uncles, I mean, neighbors, and,
Yes.
everyone played a part in it. Miss Thompson, John Sloat Elementary School,
Mm-hmm.
the principal. And, and like I said, seeing my heroes and go and have opportunities and come home,
Mm-hmm.
I knew if they can send some of my heroes home, they can send me home. So,
Mm-hmm.
I just try to do the right thing. It doesn't mean I do the right thing. It doesn't mean I don't have my faults. It doesn't mean that I'm perfect. It means I was in the right place at the right time. And, God gave me an ability to be able to adapt a little bit. But, I had some luck on my side too.
Yes. Yes. So what was the difference, because Kennedy's in Greenhaven, which, like you said, is over the hill. Like, what was the difference because like I'm over here, Strawberry Manors. I moved to Westgate, but I went to school at Mariloma. So it was like my mom, like we're in Grant School District. My mom was like, you ain't going to Grant. We moved to Westgate. I'm in Rio Linda School District. And she's
Right.
like, you ain't going to Rio Linda. So we're going to figure it out. So I go to Carmichael to, go to high school, play basketball, baseball, soccer. And, it was a culture shock. Like I was just like, oh, shoot, like what did I get myself into? Because, elementary school all the way through, like I'm around Black people, of course, Hispanics, and now I'm going to a place where there's majority white people. So was that kind of the same journey that you went through coming from Meadowview and over to Kennedy?
I think South Sac, was a little, it could be the same, but I think it was a little different because, like I said, our village had all those people in it.
Okay.
Like I said, it was middle class, but I think, the parents and the successfulness of the family background and dynamic was a lot different. They had two parents at home, or mom that stayed at home. Why, we had two parents. Everybody had to grind, or
Mm-hmm.
you came from a divorce household where you watch your mom grind, and hopefully your dad played a part of it, and the rest of the family you picked up the pieces. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, it wasn't that hard of a transition because, like my mom said, hey, people are people. You look at people, you treat people with respect, you treat them like you want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was lucky enough to endure that during my time growing up, during my high school years. It was an easy transition for me.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I knew there was a difference though, like I said, even with all the craziness that was been going on in the world, the last couple of years, 3 or 4 years,
Mm-hmm.
I knew where I could go and not go. I knew where I was welcome and not welcome. I'm not going to say I was blind or didn't think that didn't exist because I knew it existed.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't let that be an excuse for me not to be successful.
Yeah, that's you worded that correctly. But
Yeah.
so after Kennedy, do you go to Miami? You're a Hurricane, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm the you, man.
All
Takeaway
right.
chain,
Yeah, that's what's up.
But I went to Sac City first because, like I said, I had to, I was just a football player that played baseball. But
Okay.
like I said, we played all three every day, all day long. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? Every day, all day long. White, Black, Hispanic, Asians, Middle Eastern. It didn't matter. We all got along and we played. We played all day long, every single day.
Yeah. And so you go to the U. Do they give you a scholarship?
Oh
And
yeah, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I couldn't go
okay.
3,000 miles away, and not have a full ride. You know what I mean? It was,
Yeah.
I look forward to those. I look forward to those. How do you say it? Those boxes from the family. With all the
Mm,
treats and the snacks.
mm-hmm.
I was on a meal. Like I said, I was the only one there out of state, basically. No, I had other guys on the team that were out of state, but to have a full ride and. Like I said, my mom, my grandmother, my family dynamic, and uncles and aunts and friends,
Mm-hmm.
and like I said, they prepared us for the world. They weren't, growing up and playing sports, but just being part of a life lesson. It
Yes.
wasn't, play a sport or I'm entitled to something. It was, you still you have to learn to get along with people. See the world, see different things, and
Mm-hmm.
use baseball as a tool to do that. I think that's what I try to explain to kids. Everybody's not going to make it, but if you can use it to go in IA, Division 3, 2, 1,
Mm-hmm.
whatever, but minor league ball, let it be a tool or an avenue for you to be able to experience things you wouldn't be able to experience. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And
Yep.
get it, and also to be able to get an education so you can, you know, provide a better lifestyle for yourself, your
Mm-hmm.
family, and those type of things. Let baseball just be a tool.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not the number one tool.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It was just another avenue to be able to take care of the finances to go to school.
Mm. And so after college, were you drafted to the Padres or their minor league? How did you get to the MLB?
Well, in 1986, I was the fourth player picked in the draft,
Okay.
and I spent my first 8 years in Milwaukee, and the next three in San Diego, and then you do everything right. I think you're what you're supposed to do,
Mm-hmm.
and and I was the first person ever to hit 50 home runs and get traded. So that
Mm.
I but once again, I was prepared for that. I knew we had to be different.
Yes.
It's funny you talked about Carmichael. I played in the Police Athletic League, and uh, I know my kids and everyone, they heard the story a million times, but I played for the South Sac Jets, and we're playing the Dolphins, I think, in Carmichael,
Mm-hmm.
Police Athletic League. But it was the All-Star game, and I rushed for like 200. I ran a kickoff back. I caught a pass from the quarterback and ran it in,
Mm-hmm.
4 touchdowns, and I get co-MVP. You know what I mean? And I'm with the quarterback that threw me the ball for a touchdown. I get
Mm-hmm.
co-MVP, and I'm like, my grandma says, "Good job." My mom, "Good job," and I was like, "Good job. This is not fair. I'm not co-MVP." My
Mm-hmm.
grandmother said, "Pick your lip up off the ground
Mm.
and let's go eat." But I'm gonna tell you something. You made it too close. I was like, "Grandma, it wasn't too close because I did X, Y, Z, and he did this, and we got killed." I'm gonna say it again, Greg. You made it too close. And I was like, "Grandma," she goes, "Hey, I was the first female supervisor at the Army Depot, African American. So
Mm-hmm.
not only did I have I had basically all the men that didn't respect me or like me because at that time women weren't supposed to have those positions. And so she said, I don't want to hear about fair or what's right and what's wrong. Separate yourself from separate yourself from everybody else so it's not close. So she
Mm-hmm.
said, whether it's school, whether it's life lessons, whether it's your job, and playing a sport again, I knew that I had to be a little bit, I don't want to use the word elite, but I had to be a little bit better than some other people
Yeah.
to have for my opportunities to come.
Yes.
And I say that to my kids, and because kids nowadays growing up the way they grew up until this, like I said, the last 2 or 3 years, they didn't experience that. They didn't
Mm-hmm.
know what that was. You know what I
Yes.
mean? They didn't
Yes.
know what that was. Oh, Dad, you crazy? That don't happen. Oh, yeah. Now it's like, hey, if you get pulled over, if something happens, FaceTime, tell them
Mm-hmm.
you're not going, tell them you're not running, call 911, do whatever you have to do, but just go on you know, let everyone know where you're going and get to a
Mm-hmm.
lighted public area. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Because, and to see what has transpired over our nation over the last 3 or 4 years, they understand it.
Yeah.
They understand it now. But at the same time, I see their friends that went to school with them and the way they do things. It was beautiful to see the protest and see all the different races and
Mm-hmm.
ethnicities coming together and making a difference. Because one thing about I don't want to say our millennials, they might not know how to change oil or take out the garbage or do stuff like that. but they will stand for a cause. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so it's funny. I had friends, that would say. I mean, when I say friends, I mean girls I went out with, buddies. You know, when Kaepernick was saying what he said, saying to me, "What do you guys want? That's not right. He shouldn't be doing that." And I'm like, "What do you mean he shouldn't be doing it? Hey, everybody died on that flag. There's a lot of people that died on that flag for him to be able to express speech." And they say, "Well, they shouldn't do it at the workplace." What other platform do we have? You know
Yes.
what I mean? They're not going to call us for a meeting. I never got a call.
Mm-hmm.
They never said, "Greg, you did too good, so we have to trade you." You know,
Mm-hmm.
and then they just, I, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And for people to think that there's not a difference, it's sad to say, especially after what we went through. And it's sad to say that, just because we were protesting, that we were the ones looting and causing all these problems, because the real
Mm.
protesters weren't doing that.
Yes.
And like I said, we all seen it firsthand at the Capitol. We private protests. We 17 football fields away.
Mm-hmm.
They can open the front door. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean. There is a difference, and people don't want to hear it. That I lost some friends over it. People, like I said, I dated some of these girls that didn't understand. Well, he shouldn't be saying at this time. I'm like, you tell us what other times we get to say it.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
and what did he say that was wrong?
Mm-hmm.
It was never about the police, but when people create confusion, they hear what they want to hear. The news and the media, they portray what they want to portray.
Mm-hmm.
But evidently, they didn't see the Rangers standing behind them. They tell them it wasn't about the military or the police. It was about what was really going on in society.
Mm-hmm.
And how many deaths later did it come to the forefront? And how many deaths are still happening that is coming to the forefront?
Yeah.
Like I
Every
said,
day. Yeah.
I've never seen a person of color make a citizen's arrest. And I don't know what I'd do if some random citizen just walked up to me with a gun, talking about he's going to arrest me for what?
Yeah.
And like I said, you know, if you take the crimes and apples for apples, there's a big difference. These crimes, I mean, whether they had a record or didn't have a record, that doesn't mean they deserve to die.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that's the part that I think people are realizing. And like I said, Chief Hahn, who's a good friend of mine, grew up
Mm-hmm.
in Oak Park, you know, he is handling it like a professional. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? He's not
Mm-hmm.
he's not out here shooting rubber bullets and creating more chaos. He's out
Right.
here we're de-escalating instead of escalating the situation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what people need to understand. But this is a problem that in America, and it's a problem in the world that needs to be fixing. I have a lot. I went to Kennedy. I have a lot of Asian friends, and all the Asian hate, that's going
Yes.
on now. So I think people are realizing that it's true, but still some don't want to hear it, whether they're in the church, not in the
Mm-hmm.
church.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some live for the tithe, some say they're Christians, some do the right thing, some don't. But everything has a limitation to it, so to speak. You
Yeah.
know, people are going to do what they feel is right for them, and call it whatever they need to call it to justify it.
Yeah. And is this something, because I can only imagine, in the 80s, baseball was, I think it was a more white sport back then. Like, how did you like navigate? Like it seems like they're trying to get us black folks back into the baseball. Like because when I like I said when I grew up, there wasn't too many black folks playing baseball, and then when you played, was it during that era where people were still smoking in the clubhouse and
Oh
having
yeah,
weed
definitely.
in
Yeah,
their
yeah,
mouth
yeah.
and
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. It was, but I have to say something. Though. When I grew up, like I said, whether you're black, white, Hispanic, we did it all: basketball, baseball, and football. It's
okay.
the airport little league. So I mean, I have just as many. There were more blacks playing it in little league than whites in my area. But
Okay.
but even when I went to the big leagues, every team had 6 or 7 African American or people of color playing. So
Mhm.
it was a situation where we really don't have that now. You know what I mean? And that's what we're trying to get back. You know, we had the
Okay.
game at Rayleigh Field the other day, you know, with Jerry Manuel's baseball academy and school out there, where he does a phenomenal job of, you know, teaching these kids and giving them the opportunity not to learn baseball, but to have the opportunity to go to school and put them in situations where they can get scholarships and move on to the next level. Because, you know, we do it in Latin America, we do it all over the place, but we
Mhm.
don't do it here for us. And, you know, out where I live and, you know, where we moved to out of our neighborhoods, you know, you know, it costs $300-400 for you to, you know, for one kid. I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you. She's gonna be like, Greg, who? Greg, you'd be like, come in the hobby like, what we need him on the air for? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, you know,
exactly.
yeah, you know, but all of us played it and we did it and but like I said, it was so much different because now some teams don't have any. Some teams have one. A lot of
Mhm.
teams have no coaches. And you know, when I played, you know, I had, you know, whether it was Ricky Henderson, Dave Stewart, Mike Felder, Dave Parker, Willie Randolph. You know,
Mhm.
every team had 5, 6, 7, 8. And it was like a family reunion. As soon as you walk through spring training, you have 14 of us congregate. Hey, you need something to eat, you know where to go.
Yeah.
You know, Joe Carter, everybody took care of everybody, you know, and it
Mhm.
was, but and they always said, do not mess up your money. Do not do the wrong thing. Do not until you get in a situation where you can be outspoken and speak your
Mhm.
mind. You will never have 100% backing, but you will be able to do it because of the contract status. And if you're putting up numbers, they will tolerate it for a little while. You know what I mean? But if you're not putting up numbers, mom's, you know, mom's the word. You can't say a word. Don't
No.
say boo. You
Yeah.
know, as long as you're producing and doing what you are paid to do, you know, it was, you know, do your job, be seen and not heard.
Mhm.
But when you make your money, you can say and be a little bit more outspoken about issues or causes, what you think is right or wrong. You know, it and that was the case in me to me when case in point when I got traded to Cincinnati. Like I said, first person ever to hit 50 home runs and get traded. I did everything I could do to stay. You
That's
know,
crazy.
and the late Tony Gwynn, who was a good friend of mine, you
Mhm.
know, rest in peace. You know,
Yes.
Tony did everything the right way. And, but that time he was hot. The fans in San Diego were hot because they didn't understand it. But that All-Star game and my grandmother saying, "I'll make it too close," I was prepared for anything. I didn't have to agree with it. I didn't have to like it. I was
Mhm.
prepared for
Mhm.
it. And you know, not to change subjects or anything, but you know, I have some friends that you know, she has a partner and this and that, and you know, the question was, "What do you guys want?" I was like, "Excuse me." And she's
Mhm.
different. What do you guys want? I said, the same thing you wanted to be
Mhm.
able to marry whoever you wanted to marry, to get what job you ever wanted to have, to be able to have kids, to be able to do the same things you did and not have bias held against us or be taunted or disrespected. That's all we want. We're not
Yes.
asking for anything for free, but just give us the same opportunities
Mhm.
to have and the same jobs, to be able to go to the same places, to do the same things that you do. And her being Caucasian and her partner understanding that, she goes, "Oh, I never looked at it that way."
Mhm.
I said, "Well, that's the way you should look at it. Next time
Yes.
someone says something, say, you know what, I can understand what they're fighting for because we had to fight for that for us." When you talk about two Caucasian women that wanted to
Mhm.
spend their life together, wanted to
Mhm.
marry, you know, we're not asking for anything different.
Mhm.
You know, we have people that died for that flag and those stars too.
Yes.
You know, both my grandfathers were in the service. You know, so and cousins and nephews and relatives. So you know, we all have fought for this country. So you know, why can't we be treated the same way?
Yes. Yes.
I'm biased. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's great, Greg. Give me a good story of a career. Like give me one of those memorable ones. And like this isn't a PG story, but we ain't trying to get you in trouble either, Greg. So,
So I'll stick to ballpark stuff. No locker room or after the game stuff.
there you go.
I'll keep them 100 now. But even when I got traded and Mark Shot had just got re-enlisted, I think, from her suspension for dropping the big N word, and now I got to go to Cincinnati. You know what I mean? And it was some of the most fun I've ever had playing baseball. And the first thing she ever said to me was, "Greg, this is Mark Shot, honey. Congratulations, you just got traded to Cincinnati. It's 5:00 in the morning our time." I'm like, first of all, it's 5:00 in the morning. They told me I wasn't getting traded, and I get traded. And then you tell me I got to shave my goatee. And I'm like, at the time, I'm like, get your players back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because you traded for me, but I had a little bit of that juice or power at the time to be able to say I was not coming.
Okay.
And next thing you know, fans in Cincinnati said, "Hey, he can have a goatee," and it changed, baseball forever. Being able to allowing us to express ourselves and be who we wanted to be. My kids never see me without a goatee.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Shoot, I haven't seen myself without one since my rookie year. You know what I mean? And it was, but in hindsight, being the age that I am now, out of respect to all the people before me, Joe Morgan and Dave Parker, the Big Red Machine, and all Tony Perez and all those guys, what they went through, I probably would save it if I was this age and got traded, opposed to being, in my, the early 30s, opposed to being, where I'm at right now in life, just out of respect to the players before me, and to pay homage to them, and out of respect, because rules are rules, but at the same time, the freedom of choice and expression.
Yes.
But still, I was playing a game that was taking care of me and my family, and it was an honor, not a privilege, to play baseball. It was an honor to play baseball. Baseball didn't owe me anything, so I probably would have did it different being this age.
Okay.
So but that being said, that's just one of them. But there's so many good times, man. Like I said, it's baseball has treated me good. I'm just disappointed that we don't have a lot of people of color or little leagues that are still being maintained, and given the opportunity for our kids to have numerous choices of things to do, instead of just, like you said, being a rapper, basketball player, or football player. You know what I mean? So my message is to the kids, be whatever you want to be, but be the best, and go out there and own your brand. Just don't be your brand. Have higher expectations. Yes. Own your brand. I have my own wine out now, 23wines.com, right. And I never thought I would own my own wine. I have wellness centers here and in Vegas, so I'm trying to provide jobs. I own property on Del Paso Boulevard, and I'm fighting with the people, 4 women or 5 women that don't want me to do what I'm doing to the building, but it's like they want to keep us down, or the city that makes us jump through hoops. We're the capital of California. How can, and this is no disrespect, because I love Cincinnati, I love Milwaukee, but I also love how they continue to grow. And with infrastructure, jobs, and restaurants, and turn themselves into these cities. And like I said, you go to Metaview or DPH, and for me to redo my building, I got to tear up half the road and pay for the road. I got to put in curbs and sidewalks. And you have a lot of people that want to have the illegal action still going on. We don't want you to do anything to this Wood Lake. There's 4 or 5 women in Wood Lake that I had to fight. Go through city council and do all this stuff to make this neighborhood better. And they rather see the illegal activity from. Homelessness is a problem here, and we got to come up with a solution to fix that. We got to find a way to create more jobs. But California's tough. That's why everybody's leaving it. You know what I mean? Yes. Because with the regulations and the taxes, and all that stuff. I'm proud to be from Sacramento, but if I could do a build out for half the price in Nevada, opposed to California with all the regulations, why wouldn't I take advantage of that opportunity?
Yes.
Business is business,
Mm-hmm.
but until we do something different in the state of California, we're always going to be behind the eight ball. Our roads are always going to be bad. You're going to have the haves and the have-nots. And you know what? How come, Vaughn's Valley, my foundation, which all the proceeds from my wines go to, how Twin River School District, I didn't go to Twin River School
Mm-hmm.
District.
Mm-hmm.
I was in South Sac. I'm in District 7. That's in District 2.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm buying Chromebooks and whiteboards so our kids don't get left behind in distance learning.
That's great.
We all pay the same, all the money that we pay in taxes. How come our kids don't have the same opportunity?
Mm-hmm.
But also us as people and as a race, we have to do a better job at representing ourselves and our kids and our youth and getting them to dream and dream big and owning and supporting and our community, having businesses and owning businesses and spending in our community. Because if you don't spend in our community and support our communities, they will never change.
Yes. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
did you have something else to add?
No, it's like you always find an uphill battle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uphill battle. And like I said, you can't see like my best friend since Bob Downey, the pastor based at Midtown, the
Mm-hmm.
house, not Bayside anymore. It's the house.
Yes.
And Elk Grove. Our church looks like society.
Mm-hmm.
It has all types of denominations,
Nice.
and that's what I want to be involved in. I don't think, and I have a lot of friends that live in Granite Bay, Rockland, or
Mm-hmm.
wherever. There's nothing wrong with being successful. It's nothing wrong with providing and wanting to, raise your family where you want to raise it.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the same people come to our church. A lot of the same people are in my circle because they define Christianity the right way. We're all disciples and we're all God's people. It doesn't matter where we live or where we grow up. No one's more important than anybody else.
I like that. That's great. So when you stopped playing pro ball, you came back to SAC. What was your decision? Because you've been all around the world. You started in Milwaukee, San Diego, Cincinnati. Why come back?
Tampa,
Yeah, Tampa. Why
Colorado.
why Sacramento? Like, I know you're from here, but why did you make that decision? Being everywhere in the world, you could live anywhere. Why come back to your hometown of Sac?
Because you just said it. It's my hometown, and for me to make a difference and give these kids a chance, I had to let them see me and let me be part of the community and let me be part of their lives, so that they can dream big, so they can say, you know what, he's from, Candlewood Way. He's from District 7. He went to John Steele, then Kennedy. He played at Airport Little League. And, they had to be able to see me, and they had to be able to see me come back and contribute. So show them that there is another way to make it and do things. So, I have trademark 916 for life. That's me. I own that trademark because it's special to me. That's who I am. When they say Great Vaughn, it's 916 for life because everybody in the surrounding area is important to me. And like I said, and that's one reason I felt that love growing up where I don't feel that love now. You know what I mean? I don't feel that love now. And like I said, everyone has a right to their own opinion and their own say and what they want to believe in. But I'm glad I grew up in the times I grew up in because, like I said, my village had Caucasian, white, Asian descent, Hispanic descent. They're Middle Easterners, Islanders, and that's what makes Sacramento special to me. I didn't see what was happening in the South and all that other stuff until I experienced playing, pro baseball, and I knew this was a special place for me. And this is home. But to continue to grow, and I think our city and our city council, which I'm a part of, not part of city council because I have too many skeletons for that. But it's just, but trying to do things different and make this not just a good place for some people, but for all people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? All people deserve to have a chance to experience life-changing experiences. And there's
Yes.
a lot of good people, man. Like I said, from Fred, from Mr. Anderson to the Lucchettes to Phil Oates, my boy Charles, from McCooney's, Sharif, and all. I mean, there's so many good people. I'm leaving out of time. Don Prenny, Anrat, Mark Anderson. Those people don't look like me, but they're good quality people. That all people are important and they make a difference. And I'm sorry for all the people that I'm leaving out, but I'm just throwing out people from the top of my head. You know, that are that care about this community like I do. Like I said, the Oates family, I mean, they're tremendous. Pool resources. When Mr. Pool is still alive, Don Printing. They don't look like me, but they volunteered. They volunteered to do all the printing for my foundation, so we can go out there and raise money to help contribute to different, areas of need. And like I said, we almost fed 1 million people during COVID. From here to San Diego, from the Chromebooks and from the Chromebooks and whiteboards to, my Restore Hyper Wellness Center. I have one in Lawrence Plaza. We gave all free immune IVs to, the first responders, the essential workers. Like I said, man, to make our community better, everybody you have to contribute to your community.
Yes.
But also us in our areas that aren't built up, we have to be able to find the resources, or the city has to be able to allow us resources to bring our lower income areas up to par. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But also us as people, nobody owes us anything. Hey, we're in America. I don't want to say you have the freedom, you have opportunities, maybe not all the opportunities that other people have, but you have opportunities to better your life. And us, especially as African American men, we got to do. And I'm around a ton of them today, for the cause that we're playing for today. But we have to do a better job, not just having kids, but raising kids and showing them how to be men and directing them in the right areas. And like I said, there's a ton of people that see this and say, "Oh, he's just saying this or he's that." And like me and Chief Hans said, though, it's hard when you're a person of color, and I'm sure Cecil, you can attest to this, because you have the people that accept you because of what you do, and then you have the people that don't accept you because we think we're too good for them. No, I'm still Greg Vaughn, African American, born and raised in Mandeville. I'm just like you, but you know what? I was lucky. I took advantage of opportunities, and I was in the right place at the right time. So we have opportunities, but they're not all going to be the same. So I feel their pain when they say that they're not the same.
Yes.
But we do have opportunities to go out there and, like Rick Jennings, Fathers for Families, and all those guys down there on Del Paso Boulevard. There's so many organizations, the Macro Community Center. There's so many organizations that do so many great things. Hey, like I said, the house, in Midtown, our church. I mean, feeding the homeless, working with our kids, make sure these kids get food and all this other stuff. I mean, you talk about Tara Rye, you talk about McCooney Foundation. They do a ton. All My Best, Kimberly Boone and her family, they do a tremendous, and they're up here in Rockland. So it's a lot of people that do a lot of good things. And, I'm just trying to say, if we could start collaborating, collab and come together, we can get much more done than we can by ourselves. But we got to stop hating on each other. We got to stop robbing and killing and stealing from each other, and come together and make these communities and give these kids a chance.
Yes. Let's talk offline too, because there's a few things that I think I need to talk to you about, me coming in and helping out where I can. And, because like you're saying, like Del Paso Boulevard, that has like the biggest spotlight. But if you go, into Norwood and, like some of the Northgate area,
Main Street.
Exactly. Main Street, Bell, like there's all these communities out there that do need the help. They're building more schools. They're building more housing over there, but I just think there needs to be, you know, a little bit more, especially like dealing with the community. But let's talk about your nonprofit, your Vaughn's Valley Foundation. How did this get started? And you know, I know you touched on it a little bit, but you know, just kind of elaborate on what you're doing out there with the Vaughn's Valley Foundation.
Well, the foundation was started because at first, uh, I get a call. I was in Toronto, and my oldest son, they told me he had diabetes, and I was like, diabetes?
Mm.
I mean, like, I thought that was for older, out of shape people. I didn't know that was for, but then they explained it was juvenile. So that's when your pancreas stops making insulin, you're insulin dependent. And so, along with Pastor Bob or Bob Valiant, I call him Bob, you know what I mean? And funny story, he's riding with me now. I say it all the time. He was in Milwaukee with me. And 3 days later, after he came home, he said, "Hey, man, successful construction company, doing good things, but Bob's always cared about people, playing on all those great Kennedy basketball teams.
Mm-hmm.
We've been friends for forever." And he said, "Man, I think I'm gonna be a pastor." I was like, "Huh?" And he said, "I think I'm gonna be a pastor." And I was like, "Really?" And I was like, "Okay." I said, "Did I play that bad?" You know what I mean? you, know, you know what I mean? But he sat on the board, and me and Bob talked, and he helped me. Anita Gilbert, there was, like I said, there was Brian Bedford. There was so many people that came out to try to form this foundation to raise money to help try to find a cure for diabetes. And then I didn't want to be pigeonholed just into diabetes, because I wanted to be community based sort of thing. So I wanted to be able to, do what I wanted to do, for whatever needed to be done at that particular time. With COVID, to be almost to feed 1 million people, uh, school districts, whiteboards, I mean, all scholarships, and the scholarships that we started, it wasn't for people that played sports. It was for people living under the poverty line.
Mm. Okay.
We were able to buy and go out and provide Christmas presents and turkeys and stuff for people during the holiday season, so those kids would be able to, have a holiday season.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. So yeah, bondsvalley.org. Yeah, we're still going.
Okay.
And my work, like I said, I'm a disciple. We're all blessed, and if I'm blessed, I think I wouldn't be doing the Lord right if I wasn't blessing other people.
That's amazing. So tell me about this pickleball. What the heck is pickleball? How did you get involved with it? And like just a little. I looked it up. I'm still a little confused. What's pickleball?
So you take a wiffle ball, where we all play when we were younger, and you take a paddle, and you have a kitchen, and you have a smaller tennis court, and it's the fastest growing sport in the world. And right now, like I said, at a Rush Park, they have pickleball courts, and that organization approached me and said, "Hey, we want to name a building and get 4 covered pickleball areas, so we can broaden the horizon and give kids a different opportunity that they would never have." And so we're still haven't raised the money. We're still working on it. You know what I mean? And try to raise money because now once we get these kids and open up their eyes and get them off these tablets and gaming. Now, I don't want to say take anything from gaming, but just get them outside to be able to exercise, but just new life experiences. I mean, there's a professional league of pickleball. There's a lot of people of color that play, but now we're able to not just feed them, but we're able to mentor them. We're able to give them to meet people like you and other people that would not be in their lives and otherwise, and we can keep it now that it's covered. So if we can raise $450,000, we can cover 4 courts, but we're able to touch millions of lives in the Sacramento area, because not only is it about the sport, it's about being able to, like I said, mentor, give them different eye-opening experiences, or change their thought process. And so they can say it's okay to be successful. It's okay to be smart. It's okay to get good grades. There's so many times I go to schools and these kids will have on backpacks and all this other stuff and they have a .08 or 1.8. I tell them, I say, y'all don't love nobody. I love my mom. I love my grandmother. Sorry about that. And and I said, no, if you did, you would do a better job. You would do a better job. If you're going to be here, don't waste time. If you're going to be here, do not waste time. But we also have to give them the tools to, because, we don't know what it is at home. I realize that, there's a lot of mental health in our race. There's a lot of situations that we grow up that a lot of people don't have to experience. And so there's a lot of things that affect these kids that, we try to soften the blow or get them help for.
Okay. All right. So we're at our next section here. You got a couple seconds to play a couple games, and then we'll get out of here. All right, we got top 5. You've been all around the world. I need Greg Vaughn's top 5 cities to visit.
Top 5, I would say Lake Tahoe, San Francisco. I would say Chicago. I would say Toronto.
Okay.
And you have to. I mean, New York for 3 days is good. You know what I mean?
New York for 3 days. All right.
But my top. But before that, I have to throw San Diego, of course. I mean, living there, playing there, it's perfect every day.
Yes, San Diego just grew on me like these last couple years. I don't know why I didn't like it before. I think it was just because I was broke going to San Diego.
Oh yeah, hey, you got to have a different bank account messing around in Southern California. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, let me get you top 5 MLB players of all time. I think we already said a few of them, but give me a top 5 MLB, dead or alive, Greg Vaughn.
Oh, Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Barry Bonds. I would say Tony Gwynn has to be in there. But I say probably Roberto Clemente.
Oh, okay. Nice. All right, so we're at the end here. At the end, we do a section called Coming In Hot. Any topic that you want, anything on the top of your mind. We did talk about a lot of stuff, but we need you to come in hot on a topic that you would like to come in hot on. So, Greg Vaughn, it is time to come in hot. What you got, Greg?
Yeah, you know what? Enough hate has been said. Let's just, let's just love on one another. Treat people like we want to be treated. You know what I mean? It's that old adage that you hear when you're 5 years old. And I think we need to quit rewarding kids for doing things that they're supposed to do. I think timeouts and trophies have ruined a lot of people. When we didn't put our chairs on the desk, we had to write the sentences for 500 times. I'll put my chair on the desk. I'll put my chair on the desk. If they do it, they get a gold card. If they don't, nothing. There's no repercussions. So I think we have to get back and find a way to implement some of the old with the new, because it's our generation that has given these kids so much that we forgot to give them what made us.
Yes, that is hot. Great job. Go ahead and plug all the stuff you need to plug. Any social media that you need to plug, go right ahead.
Oh yeah, 23wines.com. I want to thank the E2 family winery in Lodi, who gave me an opportunity and a chance to live out a dream. Like I said, being from Meadowview and owning businesses, and now I have my own wine brand, 23wines.com. Greg Vaughn 23 on all handles. You can find me, you can reach out to me. And like I said, let's collab and, come together, because we can fight and accomplish so much more working together instead of working independently.
Yes, I'm down for all that. Thank you so much. The living legend, Greg Vaughn, in the building for those delicious hot chicken sandwiches. Holla at me, www.nashandproper.com. Check out at Nash and Proper, at Coming In Hot, at Chef Cecil if you want to holla at me directly. Thank you for listening this week. We love you. Peace out. See ya.
Peace.